welcome to Lead or Be Led, where we talk about life, politics, and whatever comes to my little mind. And try to talk people into use common sense or instead of thinking with their rear end. There's so many topics that we can talk about, but today, if I can stay focused, is on ICE. Their duties is to apprehend illegals. And of course, they're trying to stand up for themselves, so they're telling everybody they're going after the bad guys, which I'm not disputing that. And I'm sure other people that just hear illegal is going to get picked up in the process. But I don't care. If you cross that border, you're an illegal alien. You're here illegally. So yes, you should be caught and deported. We're talking about 20 million illegals that came over in the last 4 years for Trump. And people say, well, how come they got so many ICE individuals in Minneapolis? We don't need that. The hell if we don't. You got a bunch of ladies, because I'm going to try to be nice, younger ones and old ones. I don't know if they're getting paid or they're looking for a purpose in their life, but they're evidently mentally unstable. Of course, I'm not a professional, but that's just my personal opinion. Out there, they're trying to run them over and everything else. And, if you watch that video of that young lady who got shot, and no, I'm not going to say I'm sorry she got shot. That's giving. We need to stop that kind of talk. She did try to ram that officer, and she did hit him where he had internal bleeding. That's a gimme. Some people then, they use the argument, well, he shouldn't have been standing in front of that vehicle. They told her to get out of the vehicle because she's been causing chaos all day. It's blocking them, not letting them do their job. So they were going to apprehend her and tell her to get out of the vehicle. She made the choice. And it's an unfortunate choice, but she made a choice because for so many years we let these people get by with everything that they think they can actually run over somebody and be okay. So they were told, and I want to tell you from personal experience, because my duties when I was in the Air Force, I know, unless you're in that situation, you can't not truly judge that officer. Now, if I was that officer, I probably would have done the same thing. Because who would have thought some young girl, some young woman is going to try to run over him. So they was on the side, and he stepped on not completely in the front, but towards the left side of the vehicle. And she sped off and hit him, and he shot. And it ended badly. But she made that choice. All she had to do is get out of that vehicle. That's it. Or everybody's making a big deal that she was this great mother. Well, she had 3 kids. 2 of them were taken away from her. She did not have custody. One of them, the only reason she had custody, because the father's dead. Now, that's no excuse for her, what transpired, but that just tells you something about her character. She wasn't a saint. Like I said, she made that choice. So, the reason we have to have so many ICE individuals there because of the chaos. You got to control the crowd. There's one simple thing could happen if Democrats and liberals would just do it. Stop it. Let ICE do their job. It's that simple. Then there wouldn't be no need for all these ICE agents to control the crowd. Me personally, Trump's doing better than I would, because I would have called the National Guard and the Air Force, because I know particularly my past experience, like us, we was trained in crowd control, and Dad was in the guards for over 20 odd years, and listen to him talk. Back then, they were trained for crowd control. Bring them in. Do nothing but crowd control. If somebody needs apprehended, let the ICE people do it, because the local cops are not there. You know, because they're trying to distract there in Minnesota away from the fraud that's going on. So, just let the ICE do their job. I mean, like I said, there's 20 million illegals came across that border in the last 4 years. So just let them do their job, apprehend these people, deport them, and be done. And the courts, due process. They don't have due process. They're not American citizens. And some people bring up the Fourth Amendment. When that Fourth Amendment, and I believe the Supreme Court has ruled on this, the way it's worded should be interpreted that applies to American citizens, not illegals. But people like to use that Fourth Amendment because they don't have due process. They came over illegal. They're not American citizens, so they do not have the rights that we have. Send them back. Or they got a choice now. The government's going to give them $2,000, and you go back, file for your paperwork, and do it legally. But a lot of them won't do that because a lot of them are not good people. Or they're just plumb out lazy. Can the immigration system be fixed? My thinking about it, just follow the laws. Immigration law should be this simple. Of course, I look at life simple. If you come here illegally, you go across, back home. You get deported. You file paperwork. We look at each individual case and see if there's a reason why you should become a United States citizen. Not no trumped up reason. Of course, the laws are such that it's so screwed up. We don't have enough judges for immigration, but that can be handled. Number one, have every judge out there knowing immigration law, so it doesn't have to be an immigration judge to do it. There, problem solved. See, that's real easy. Unfortunately, government don't want to do things easy. They like doing the hard way. And it just gets me how liberals and Democrats, they just want to forget about American people and look out for the illegals and the bad guys. I just heard on CNN, on Fox this morning, the gal said 31% of people, that includes some independents and some Republicans, said they don't think ICE is making the country safer. Let's be real. Use your head. As I say, lead, or be led by your nose ring. Number one, it's the Democrats' jargon. So I would bet they know the independents who leans Democrat. And they probably know some Republicans would tend more to go Democrat than Republican. I mean, let's face it, there's some out there. So when they take a poll like that, That's who they're going to poll. They're not going to call somebody like me. I've never been asked to do a poll. So they're going to, like I said, go with people that sides with them. So it's 31%. And like I said, mind you, most of them probably Democrats. And then she said, right there proves majority of American people are against ICE. 31%, who most of them are Democrats. How in the world is that the majority of the people? Number one, majority of people would be 60% at least. It wouldn't be 50-50. It'd be over at least 60%. I'm tired of these people playing like we're a bunch of dummies. But they're a bunch of y'all who play into it because it fits your way of thinking. You want to be important. You want to get on social media and spout all this bull crap. Like go back to ICE and say, oh, they don't have no training. It takes just a few seconds, people, to find out that they do between 8 to 24 weeks of training. Of course, you tell somebody that and say, well, 8 weeks is not enough. Use common sense. Once again, if you have a cop who's applying for ICE, he's been through majority of the training, so why in the heck should he go 24 weeks? He doesn't need 24 weeks. 24 weeks is a people that doesn't have no law enforcement background. I tell you what, 24 weeks is a long time to be in training. So, but see, people just I watch on Facebook and Twitter and all of them, they just, people spout like that, and people think my way, they shut up and say nothing. Number one, you don't have to argue with them, and you don't even have to respond to them on their page. But when somebody says something and it's untrue, like ICE is not getting no training, if you're on social media, you can post it on your page. You need to get the facts out there. Or like the gal on Fox trying to say majority of people, because 31% are against, think ICE is not doing any good. That means the majority of people. No, it doesn't. So what you do, you hear it, you put it out there. Get the word out that's bullcrap and get people thinking. Me, I choose this because I don't type too fast and my spelling is not worth a dang. But I'm a cowboy, so we're known for two things. Number one, talk. And we all think we can sing, which is BS. We can't. So, like I said, lead or be led. That's your choice. You can either think positive, common sense, or fall for all the BS that's out there, which 90% of it BS. Like I've said before, look where you're getting your information. Because I see every Democrat, they get their information from some socialist outfit. You think they're going to tell you the truth? No. They might give you a tidbit that's twisted, but they're not going to tell you the truth. These people out cause chaos. And, Mondani is a good example. They think you shouldn't have no personal property. See, I got distracted. I went another direction, but that's what I do. I'm 70 some odd years old, so I got ADD. Mine's all over the place. They want to take away your personal property. They think they want to charge you out taxes for some, they say, because for somebody's out there that don't really want to work, or basically it's for one of their cronies, or them. That's what all that's about. As you look, and socialism and communism never works, never has, never will. Which brings me a real quick note, and I gotta go back and try to play with some flooring I'm laying down. Somebody said something about Trump complaining about the government in Iran stopping the protests in Iran and not saying, and talking about how ICE and all is doing a good job and everything, and about the protesters here and how we talk against them. Hey, dumbasses, pardon the language, this is the difference. Iranian people are fighting for their freedom. They're protesting for their freedom. One person that's in the know said there's up to 12,000 people who's been shot or hung by Iranian government for protesting. Here, we got a bunch of lunatics trying to stop ICE from picking up illegals. And they're creating chaos. And if you can't see the difference there, you need to go get your therapist or a psychiatrist and have a session for them, because there's a big difference. I mean, I'm old enough, I remember when Iran was free, for the most part. So, get off your high horse and quit using apple and oranges for example. There are people over Iran are getting killed, and not just one or two, thousands of them. But American hearts on the left seems like they're not going out to them. They rather heart go out to Hamas instead of them. I don't know what's the world coming to, but it just doesn't make any sense to me, because I use common sense. I can think for myself. So with that said, people, as it just said, think for yourself. Don't fall in line just because somebody says, and that includes everybody. Republicans, Democrats, liberals, independents. Do your research, as I always say, and they'll, 9 times out of 10, you find out it's only half truth or a blatant lie. So, be the best individual you can. If you want to make a difference in this world, help one person. That's all. I mean, that's all it takes. You don't need your name all over social media. You don't need a bunch of people arguing with you, because I think a lot of these people, they're looking for attention. So the more you argue with them, the happier they are. And I'm to the point, I'm not going to argue with them. Now, if I got something to say against their post, I'll just put it on my page and let it go. It's that simple. But I'm not going to let their disinformation get out there and not just say something about it. That's all you got to do. Anyway, y'all take care and be the best you can be. And know you got faults. None of us are perfect. And God bless, and have a good one.